This is all I had, was a little no pressure. Well, I was away, this was all I had, so work with what you got.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, good. It says you here.
Oh, Megan's here.
Woo, got 5. No, wait. Yeah, we got 5.
Hello?
I can hear it for me, right? You see the agenda there now, man?
We're just gonna work on setting up the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I think we can make sure.
Yep.
Well, how fast was it? I don't think I was here. Really? You've done it faster though.
Yeah.
This is in the Eagles play. For some reason.
This is that why I technically. Yeah. Just throwing that out there. So let's move it there. This on? Yeah, there is not. There it is.
Strange to have the back of the room.
Your projector sounds a little fuzzy tonight. And it's still not on. Yeah, give it a second. All right, so I'm on the phone. It's almost like an hour. That's all the fuzz, none of the video. And that buzz is definitely side of there's wire on that side. Everyone's really on your mics. They should be. You see them on.
I turned it off.
Good. Yeah. Perfect. I didn't hear it go beep. You said you're drinking someone? Gina, are you there?
A while ago.
It's like a big static, yes.
We'll take static at the end.
Right.
Hello?
Yep, that's.
All right, you're on. Perfect.
Okay, great.
Record setting tonight. Record.
All right, call to order. The meeting of the South Hunterdon Regional Board of Education is called to order. Adequate notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act was provided on December 5th, 2022. By posting the notice with the respective clerks of the city of Lambertville, Borough of Stockton, and Township of West End. Advertised on December 8th, 2022, in the Hunterdon County Democrat and Second Times newspaper. Please stand and pretend the flag. Come on. I can.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Like
Allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America. Which stands
one nation, under God, indivisible.
Gina Pichetti,
Here,
Ryan Keys,
here.
Kevin Kowaleski,
Here.
Sean Lewis, here, Case Petruli,
Here.
Diana Purcell, Megan Warner,
Here.
Ronnie Todd Marino, Jim Gallagher. All right, PTA, LEF.
Jess?
So I'm gonna do ours, and at the end, I'm just gonna update you on LPS because Steph couldn't be
Sure.
here tonight. Good evening, I'm Jessica Hardigan, West Amwell PTO. I hope you're all enjoying your summer. The PTO board met about 2 weeks ago to start planning for the upcoming year. I have a few dates and items to highlight from our meeting. For the 23-24 school year and moving forward, all PTO member meetings will be the second Wednesday of every month. If the school calendar permits, obviously with holidays and stuff. But all of the dates have been added to the district's calendar. Our first PTO member meeting will be September 13th. As always, our meetings are open to all current members and meet in the WAS library at 7:30 p.m. Our first all-school event of the year will be our outdoor movie night on September 15th. Doors open at 6:30 with the movie starting promptly at 7. We'll be showing the Super Mario Brothers movie. The form is live on Membership Toolkit. All participants will be required to check a box agreeing to the event's code of conduct. And PTO board members and volunteers will not be monitoring the playground, so parents are in charge of their students. The WAS LPS sixth graders will be having another fun night out at the Trenton Thunder on August 20th at 5 p.m. Tickets will be distributed prior to the game. All are welcome. 1/3 of the ticket sales will benefit our sixth graders. Purchase tickets, please go to Membership Toolkit. The form is currently live, and there's a form for LPS students, and there's a form for West Amwell students. Next, our sixth graders have been working really hard at raising money for their end of the year activities next year. They have been having pop-up lemonade stands in Lambertville, and they recently had a very successful car wash at West Amwell, earning them about $600. Please be on the lookout for more opportunities to help the sixth graders of our district with their end of the year activities. Our first kids night out of the year will be on 9/22 from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Our drop-off movie nights currently are our main source of income for the PTO. Last year, they raised probably close to $6,000 for us. In the past, they've been fully staffed by PTO board members and West Amwell staff members. Moving forward, we've decided to make it a requirement for all room parents to volunteer at a drop-off event. With this change, we'll be able to give our PTO board members a little bit of a break, and with the extra set of hands, we'll be able to do the events more frequently. So please be on the lookout for the full list of drop-off events. We have dates scheduled up until the new year. And we've also have something in the works to hopefully do a Saturday event where parents can go and shop and do their Christmas and holiday shopping, and we'll watch the kids for about 4 hours. All important dates will be posted on the Membership Toolkit homepage by the end of this week. The form for our membership dues is live on MTK. Please note that anyone who joins prior to the school year starting will have to update their students' information once school has started. As I mentioned before, all parents selecting to be room parents will be required to volunteer at one of our drop-off events. Once room parents have been selected, an email with the sign-up genius for scheduled events will go out. And then lastly, our PTO board has gone through a little bit of a reorg with the resignation of our vice president, Suzanne Zambella. We are so grateful to have had her work with us for so long, and she will be greatly missed. In her absence, I have appointed Michael Strauss to vice president, Trista Lukaszewicz to treasurer, and joining us this year is Lee Russo to recording secretary. And next, the LPS PTA has asked me to update you as they cannot be here tonight. Their sixth graders have been busy with pop-up lemonade stands along with West Amwell sixth graders to raise funds for their end of the year activities. Other than that, they don't have anything new to report as they typically meet in August to discuss the upcoming school year. So they'll have more to share with you guys this month. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And I don't think we have anything from the LA yet. All right, so next we have correspondence. So I don't typically do this, but I am going to address the correspondence this month because I think it is important to address it. You'll see on the agenda, if you haven't had a chance to see it already, there was some correspondence that was sent to the full board from the Laborers Eastern Regional Organizing Fund, or better known as the LEROF. In the correspondence to the board, and specifically to President Gallagher, they requested that the Board of Education cease the contract with Ernest Bach and Dobco for the 5-8 building, claiming that we did not follow public bidding law. What I will say about that, and our attorney drafted a response, is that it is 100% inaccurate, and I want to point out kind of 3 areas of why.
First, there is no bidding regulations that specify that a joint venture has to register with the school development authority in advance. So these are two separate corporations that are each individually licensed to bid on school construction projects and registered with the state of New Jersey. They decided to come together and bid on this project together, and there's nothing in the statute that prevents them from doing that. In fact, M&M, who was the second lowest bidder in this process, had every right 3 months ago to file litigation against the district contesting the bid, and they chose not to do that. So they had a right to do that and they chose not to. And the reality is that the bidding laws are supposed to protect taxpayers, not laborers. So the fact that the bid was significantly lower, the board has a right to protect the taxpayers to get the best possible price for a project like this. And that's important as well. So this organization really is an independent organization. They have nothing to do with this project specifically. Chose to take it upon themselves to obviously share a letter, and we are not going to be getting rid of the bid. We've already started work with Bach and Dodco, and we will continue to do work, and we are on, just want to reassure the community strong legal ground in order to be able to do that. So I just wanted to address that with the public before we moved on.
Susan, we're going to need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Get a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
I'll abstain.
Motion passed. All right. Superintendent update.
Yeah, so really three things I just want to mention tonight. I want to give a school construction update, talk a little bit about our new student information system, course, and then just throw out some upcoming important dates that will be here before we know it. So first, what I want to say is just as a reminder to the community, our folks over here in person, where you can get the latest updates. If you go to our website, school construction projects, you click on that link under the quick links, everything's chronological as far as the order that I put it up. So there's pictures, there's all kinds of things. So, as much as I give out, typically at least once a month, sometimes more than once a month, so updates, you can go there at any time and get any information you'd like to see, including the plans for each building and the design. So, what I'll say about South Hunterdon Regional Elementary, we are making excellent progress and we are ahead of schedule. So our contractor hit the ground running, is really doing a great job so far, moving right along. Just wanted to share, if you haven't been there lately, to see what's going on, the front entrance area that used to be. Obviously, they're starting to excavate that area for the new addition. Parking lot areas, so you can see all the different things that have been removed and taken down. This was as of last Thursday, so I'm sure there's even more. And then when we get inside the building, this used to actually be Wanda's office, no longer. You can see doorways are cut out, the glass that was around. This actually used to be a vestibule area with another wall here, which is gone now because obviously it won't be a vestibule area anymore. Our classroom spaces, so they started with, all the glass that was along the top is all gone. They've been cutting out all the doorways, for ADA access and for other modifications. Walls are coming out, all kinds of different things. So we're making really good progress with the reno. Andrew and I have job meetings with our contractor, Scazzeri, every other Thursday. We have one this week at 8:30. And, so far so good. We're making awesome progress. So we're really happy. And then for our 5-8, we had a big week last week. So on Wednesday, July 19th, we received Delaware River Canal Commission DRCC approval for the 5-8 building. On that same evening, on Wednesday, July 19th, the West Amwell Township Board of Health signed our TWA, which is our Tree Works Act approval, and the application, so it could be submitted to the DEP. And then on Thursday, July 20th, we hand delivered our application to the DEP. So we made some significant progress with our permitting last week. And now it lies in the hands of the DEP. We're working to get that moved through as quickly as we possibly can. And as soon as that happens, we will start construction. So, we're excited. Last week, like I said, it was some big milestones that we've been working on over the last several months. And we finally got there and got to where we needed to be. So a lot of progress for our middle school as well. I also just want to mention too, and I think Andrew will get a little bit into details with this in our finance report, but the contractor has been doing a lot of behind the scenes work to front load. So when we are ready, and we'll talk a little about more specifics with that, but when we are ready to, for construction, we're going to hit the ground running with supplies and all the different things, shop drawings and things along those lines. So that's all important. So they haven't just been waiting and kind of, seeing how things play out. They're doing a lot of things to make sure that we're ready to go. So some important information about Encores. We've been talking about this for several months now. Aspen will be going away, but I wanted to just put some dates on your radar. So on Thursday, August 17th, we will be sending out information to all parents and students on how to access their new Encores accounts. The communication will include some tutorial videos, and we'll also be asking parents to complete some various forms in Encores, as well as verifying contact information, phone numbers, email addresses, things along those lines. So we're really trying to move towards Encores being the place, right? Where you'll fill out forms, you'll verify things, you'll do everything in the Encores portal. So that's going to be an important event. And then the following Thursday on the 24th is when we're going to release classroom teacher assignments. We're going to release schedules for our 7-12 students. We're going to release bus transportation information, all that kind of stuff. So we want to kind of give a week, right? We didn't want to do it all on the same day because if parents are away or they're struggling for some reason, we know everyone gets there's high intensity, right? To find out your classroom teacher or your schedules. So we wanted to remove that stress, get everybody into the system, troubleshoot that for a week for anyone who's struggling, which I'm hoping won't be the case. And then the following Thursday, release a whole bunch of stuff that you'll be able to see. So that way, at least everyone has a week under their belt. And then we'll continue to have some tutorial videos helping you navigate the system as more things come about. Because as I had mentioned in the past, we will be evolving this over the next 3 years. We're also going to have an Encores help email address that parents can, send an email to if they need help with Encores. And someone will be checking that. It's actually going to come to me and one other person in the district, and we'll be, checking that periodically to provide any assistance you need. So it is coming. I just wanted to kind of put it out there. We'll send more reminders as we get closer, but that's the magic date, that Thursday, August 17th. And then I just wanted to share some important upcoming dates, to put on your radar. LPS kindergarten orientation. We're looking at a tentative date right now of August 28th, obviously still working through with St. John's and our setup. And then we are scheduling 2 open houses on August 24th and August 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. where we're going to invite parents just to walk through St. John's, check it out, see your child's classroom, see all what it's looking like. We're also going to be doing a video. So if parents are away or they can't make it on the 2 open house nights, we're going to share a video, which will show all the inside of the building, the outside of the building, and we'll make that available to parents as well. What I will say, Andrew and I were there today. We go there every couple of days. We've made awesome progress. It's really, really coming along. So we've been there now, I guess, 5-6 weeks. Our maintenance crew has done an incredible job. We literally transformed the 3rd floor into, it looks completely different than it did before. And that's really where our staff's going to be. And now we're working on all our individual classroom setups. So it's coming right along and we're really excited about that. And then the West Amwell new student break the ice social and kindergarten orientation. We have our date there, August 22nd at 5:30. And then we're doing a little bit something different, which I'm really excited about this year for 7th grade orientation. Principal McKnight, we really wanted to try to individualize it the best we possibly can, rather than just have one day or one night and all the kids. She's offering all these different dates for parents to sign up with their child. And it's going to be more of like a small group setting. Could be 5, 6, 7 kids with parents with her. and Jason Miller, our vice principal. So we're trying to make it a little bit more intimate, so parents have the opportunity and kids to ask questions or really get into the thick of things. So I'll just remind you, and we'll probably text this out in the next couple of days. If parents haven't signed up for one of these dates and times, there's a link right here on the agenda. I know Jen had sent it out a couple of weeks ago. It's on our website as well, on the 712 website. Make sure you sign up, and that will really, it's really important for kids, especially our new students, to get in and get a feel for the building before they have to do it for real. So this is a great opportunity to be able to do that. All right. Any questions from the board?
You have projected completion dates for both building construction projects?
Yes, and maybe. So the pre-K 4 absolutely will be done by June 2024. I'm hoping maybe sooner, depending on how things go. The nice thing where we are with that building is the contractor really got out in front. There's certain things that right now in the industry, there's concerns about long lead times. We've been able to get out in front of that, and a few of those items we've actually already received. As well as some other districts or projects, it's taken 8 months, 10 months to get that stuff. For the 5.8, it really depends on when we start. That was a 14-month project, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you September of 2024 is realistic right now. We're probably looking more towards the latter end of 2024, maybe November, December, depending upon when they start. But we're going to do everything we possibly can, to get close. But I will say September of 24 is not going to happen. And then we'll make a decision probably around January of next year, depending upon progress, what it's going to look like for September of 24 with the new reconfiguration. And we have a couple different ideas and scenarios we've worked through as an administrative team. It really depends on when that 5.8 building will be built. That will really dictate what scenarios. But regardless, we will be moving back into the pre-K 4 and only paying rent for 1 year. We don't have any intentions of paying rent beyond June of 24. All right.
I have one other question.
Yes.
Student, actually. They're asking about the condition of the murals on the walls in elementary school. Will any of them be saved, and or will there be an opportunity to recreate them by the kids next year?
So the big mural, the one that's really important near the gym, it's plywood and all completely protected and covered. That will not be impacted at all. That remains. And that was the one I think most people, I have had a few community members to detail me about that, because I knew that was an amazing project that was done every year.
I think I have a few willing painters that if anything needs to be redone.
Yeah, so. All right. You want to read public comment?
And moving on to public comment, just a reminder before we start public comment, we have procedures and requirements that include standards of conduct that need to be followed by members of the public during public comments. If a member of the public becomes disruptive during a public meeting, including during any period of public comment, a member of the board charged with the public meeting shall warn the disruptive member of the public that continued disruption may result in being prevented from speaking during the public meeting or removed from the public. Disruptive conduct includes sustained inappropriate behaviors such as, but not necessarily limited to, shouting, interruption, use of profanity or comments seen as abusive, obscene, or defamatory. Members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You are asked to state your name and your municipality. Public comment is now open.
Anyone here in the public would like to make a comment?
We'll close public comment and move on to buildings, grounds, transportation, finance, and safety. So this month we talked about the fiscal close. The business office closed 22-23 a week ago. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to close the fiscal year once the year ends. So the business office staff worked hard to get that done and get us closed in a timely manner. Excited for that. We look forward to the audit in August. Contracts that are up for approval are our New Jersey Schools Insurance Group renewal, a Brown and Brown renewal, numerous district tuition contracts, talking points renewal, which is teachers use for communication with parents and students, and the TC&J MOU, which is for a agreement between the school and us for A3 social studies.
Teacher preparation program.
Thank you.
New.
We discussed items for auction and the items that were auctioned off last month in their purchase. We discussed that we'll be working with our architect to write a budget proposal for solar energy project at pre-K4 and then hopefully at 5-8. We discussed the investment of NJ Arm that is now currently earning $858,000 to change. We discussed the school construction projects that Mr. Souza mentioned earlier, the payment authorization, the second payment for the elementary school to Squizzieri, and the first payment to BBS.co, the joint venture. Again, although construction started, a significant amount of behind the scenes work has started in terms of reviewing plans, reviewing all the kinds of documentation, getting these prepped, working with our architect for extended architectural services. And just to note that when the agenda went live, that was actually listed as Squizzieri, not correctly as EBS joint venture. So thank you, Mr. Strauss, for pointing that out to me. We got that fixed on the agenda for tonight. We also discussed our grant acceptance of our IDEA and our ESCA grants. We talked about how we completed asbestos abatement at the pre-K4 school and highlighted some of the things going on in St. John's. Just to reiterate what Mr. Souza has already said, a significant amount of work by our maintenance crew to really not just make St. John's a place where we want to be, but a really sparkling and fantastic looking place on the inside and on the outside. Kudos to Alan Hoffman, who's led the charge, and Carl Paper, who's been right there behind. We discussed the county walkthroughs that are upcoming for St. John's and for the non-area Hunterdon school we'll be partnering with. We discussed the sale of bus 20. We have 2 buses that are end of lifespan. Last month, the board approved the sale of bus 2. This month, we are asking the board to approve the sale of bus 20. We discussed the joint transportation agreements with the other partner school districts that we work with. And then just some updates to St. John's Kitchen. And then we are purchasing some additional cafeteria tables for the middle school, high school that will move to the new middle school when it's completed to help with seating for this school. And then finally, we're also asking the board to approve the closure preparedness plan that we've had prepared each year since the pandemic began. So with that, I need a motion to move items A through Q.
So moved. Second.
Tracy? Any discussion? Any questions? All right, we'll start with a roll call vote. Gina Pichetti,
Yes.
Brian Keys,
Yes.
Kevin Kowalski,
Yes.
Sean Lewis,
Yes.
Tracy Petruли,
Yes.
and everyone.
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll move on to personnel. Mr. Souza. Megan.
I wasn't present.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take, sorry. Yeah, there's a couple things I want to highlight. So it's hiring season, obviously, so a lot of folks that are on our agenda will be joining our staff new. But I do want to mention 3 individuals in particular on our agenda. We wish Kathy Ent well, bus driver, been with us a long time, did an amazing job for us. Ariel Gilbert, too, has been with us for about 10 years. Ariel got an administrative job at Belleville High School. So she's moving on and furthering her career. And then I want to talk, the most probably about is Jeff Hewitt. So everyone probably got the email and saw that Jeff really missed the kids, right? We had conversations about that over my 3 years. I know he was an amazing principal at the Lambertville School and had an awesome reputation. He did amazing work for us in this role. One of the hardest working administrators that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. So dedicated to the district, but he came across a really unique opportunity. And after 13 years in the district, decided to take that opportunity where he'll be the new principal at Ben Franklin Elementary School in the Lawrence Township School District. So I just wanted to publicly thank Jeff. He's been an unbelievable support to me over the last 3 years. He's been an incredible support to the district over 13 years. He will be greatly missed, but I'm glad that he is going back to his passion, and that's to be around our kids, right? That's what he really, really wanted. So we wish him nothing but success. He will still be with us for the next several weeks. We're working on a plan. One of the things we talked about in our personnel meeting was we do have the position advertised. We have a search committee that we're putting together to be representative of the district. And right now our plan is to do a full day of interviews on Wednesday, August 9th, with the goal of hopefully bringing a candidate to the board at our August 28th meeting. And then we'll kind of work out, you know, as far as when, you know, Jeff is here and when we release it to Lawrence. But again, just want to reiterate, incredible person and was amazing to this district. So Mr. Hill, we wish you the best of luck. So that was the major part of our conversations, really just going through our agenda for the evening of hires and folks that are leaving, and then also talking about the search process for Jeff's position.
We need a motion to move items A and B.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All right. Frank Dees,
Yes.
Kevin Kowalski,
Yes.
Sean Lewis.
Yeah.
Tracy Patchouli,
Yes.
Megan Warner,
Yes.
Gina Pichette.
Yes.
Motion carries. That brings us to Quicken and Technology.
So we did meet, just want to comment, add to Tony's commentary about Jeff Hewitt. He will be missed. He was a huge benefit to this committee over many years. And always well prepared and thorough in anything we ever asked him about, or asked him to clarify or put together, and he was very forthright in doing that. So thank you, Jeff. We'll miss you terribly. So just moving on to my update, Tony did cover a few things, but I do want to call it out again. The on-course, and I'm saying it again for a reason. He mentioned the kind of two important dates. August 17th is when on-course becomes available and credentials get released. Sign in, that's parents, students, everyone. Go in and sign in, try it before that August 24th when the schedules get released and you want to know what bus you're on and whether or not you're in a class with your friend. Take advantage. And there is an online form that needs to be filled out that first time you log in. So it's not a 2-second thing. It should be not long, but you definitely want to invest a little bit of time and work together with your students and each other, and certainly reach out to that help desk or help line, I should say, whatever the email, right, Tony? So there is going to be when the information is shared, also on the website, right, references to on-course videos. Take advantage of those resources. Start there. And then if you don't get what you need, certainly reach out to the administration through the on-course help. So I wanted to call that out because that's very important whenever you change systems. This is usually, a time, especially when everyone wants to know what's going on. So the other thing I'll just mention that is on for approval is the mentoring and coaching plan. So this is a document update. It's up for review, as well as the technology plan, which is also this one's a 3-year plan, and that's also up for review today. Just a couple of other minor things. We talked about LPS on locations and getting the technology up and running in that building. Tony already touched on that, so I will touch on it again. And then I think that was mostly what I had. So I am going to move letters A through C.
Second.
Any discussion? Right. I'll start with Kevin Kowalski,
Yes.
Sean Lewis,
Yes.
Tracy Patchouli,
Yes.
Megan Warner,
Yes.
Gina Pichette,
Yes.
Brian Dees.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So policy is me also. We did meet today. I have two policies, two regulations for review. I'm going to start out of order a little bit. The instructional policy supplies is policy 2520 and regulation 2520. Those are minor revisions, really just mostly wordsmiths and updates. But in all, that is up for review, and it does talk a little bit about how the instructional supplies are requested by our teaching staff. And then the other one that I want to call out is the school threat assessment, which is P 2419. Again, this is relatively new, but I will call out that it is pending updated guidelines. So it is possible you might see this again in a couple of months. It is a first read. Take advantage of reviewing those during the first read time, which again, at our next meeting, we'll be reviewing for second read and approving and putting into effect. The last one that I want to mention, and it did warrant a little bit of discussion in our committee today, so I do encourage not only the board, but also the public to review this, and that's the substance abuse policy, and so a regulation, excuse me. And this is some changes to really institute education in this space. And I just want to introduce this to not only the board, but to the public, to please take the opportunity to review this. Look at the changes that are being made, and certainly provide those changes to Tony if you have them, or suggestions. Certainly, this is that time to make those changes or to propose your input on those. So with that, I am going to move letter A.
Second.
Discussion? Sean Lewis.
Yes.
Yes.
Megan Ward,
Yes.
Peter Pichetti. Brian Keys.
Yes.
Kevin Tony.
Yes.
School and community.
I'll give that update. So we did meet on July 18th, and I pulled up the minutes that are on the agenda, and I'll just kind of go through each one quickly. We met with, and this is something, you know, as a board and as a committee, we've been talking about just communication and communication planning. So we met with a consulting group called Laura Bishop Communication, who deals specifically with school districts and communication. They were with us for about 45 minutes, and we really talked about some areas that we want to focus on within communication, and also some consistency practices that we want to implement throughout the district in each one of our buildings. So I think we had a great conversation with them. They are going to be coming in and doing actually a half-day training with our administrative team in about 3 weeks. And our goal is to really have universal communication between all three buildings using the same format and the same process to try to streamline that. And some of that, quite honestly, was a result of the climate survey that we received that I put out, you know, to the community. That was a big common theme across the board. So we talked about that. Strategic planning. So, you know, we identified 5 goals for our strategic planning. From this point forward, what we're going to do is, as an administrative team, we're going to work on fleshing out those 5 goals, working within our specific board committees. And then our goal would be that we would bring a more detailed plan to the board and the public sometime later in the fall, maybe October, November, hopefully for approval and obviously for the community to get their eyes on. And then that would really be an important document for a 5-year plan moving forward with our district reconfiguration. So that's our next steps as far as that goes. The climate survey results, again, I thank the community, you know, parents, students, and our staff that participate in that activity. My goal is probably for our August meeting, or maybe September, just because I know during the summer folks are busy and maybe we don't get as much participation, but really to kind of give common themes of both positives and areas of focus that we gleaned from the climate survey. We went through them pretty thoroughly as an administrative team and then also as a committee, and really took into account, you know, and want to pick out different areas that we can focus on. You know, pat ourselves on the back for some of the areas that folks feel we're doing a really good job on, but then also address some of the areas where folks would like to see improvement. So I'll share more details on that. And then eventually I'll probably post on our website kind of the common themes from the survey results. And then we talked a lot about harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and specifically a parent guide. So I worked with my administrative team to create a document. It really kind of walks parents through the HIV process. And specifically also, we talk about cases that could be considered biased acts, how the district addresses that. And we think this is a really important resource for the district because oftentimes if a parent's child is involved in an HIV, either as a victim or a possible offender, there's always a lot of questions about the process and what's the timeline and how does this all work? And we think that that would be a great resource for our parents where we can add it to our HIV page on our website and then also provide it to parents when there's ever an issue where perhaps their child is involved in the HIV. And hopefully it will serve as a great Q&A to answer a lot of questions that parents typically have. So that was our meeting. There's nothing to move, but any questions from the board?
And move on to routine information items. Just need to motion to accept the report. Motion.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion on that? All right, this is a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Motion carries. And that moves us on to the second public comment. Members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You are asked to state your name and municipality. Public comment is now open.
So, 2 things. First, I wanted to say, when we read the substitutes, first reading, and it did seem much less punitive than it was before. That you don't go immediately to an after-school suspension or suspension for a shorter, and there is much more about trying to address what's going on and not just punish students, and so that I thought it was great, really moving in the right direction. But punishment is really going to help anybody. So I appreciate what you're working with that. And then I also just wanted to mention Jack Hewitt. I was so sad to today. But I thought he was so wonderful as a curriculum development director. He was, it's clear, he was thorough, he was engaging. But I did have the experience of having a child go all through LPS with him as principal. And even after he was principal, he would still show up to that back to school and social. They just haven't gotten the boot. And every year we go in and he would take off his belt and his shoes, but go in that really nice outfit. He's always wearing a tie and all. And it was just like, it was such a great person to have around. We also went on this amazing volunteer trip 1 year. You may remember he was volunteering in a medical clinic and got kids involved, and they could help bring supplies that he would take with him, and then came back to the slideshow about it. And yeah, just wonderful role model. And then finally, I remember there was one incident that happened not during school hours, but on the playground. My daughter was involved with the kid, and she was attacked. And I saw in the courtyard. I was going to almost do it. But yeah, I went in the courtyard and I said, "Hey, not on your watch. It's not your problem. But I just wanted to let you know that this had happened." And he said, "Okay, you might have called it." And I said, "Sure, absolutely." And he made it so much better. And when I thanked him for it, he said, "This is what I love to do. This is one of my favorite parts of being in education." So it makes sense to me. I think it's a wonderful place for him to be going back to, be right in the building with kids. But we have been so lucky to have him in every capacity. So I just wanted to say that.
Thanks for sharing that.
Clear? Okay, we don't have anybody else. I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? All
All right, thanks, Tina. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know why I thought we had exhausted. I thought Dave did. It made me
No.
so excited.
All right, let me, hold on.
How was that? What time is it? Faster than